What's up out there, you Coach Prime crazies? I hope that you've had a heck of a week. Today we're going to talk about the biggest game of the year, but probably not in the way that you think. Let's just jump right in. The Super Bowl is this weekend, and before we get started, I want to know who you're cheering for. Comment below and let me know if you want to see the 49ers win, the Chiefs win, or if you just want to see Taylor Swift on the broadcast and hopefully on the field after the game. All right, so Coach Prime was recently asked something at the Super Bowl that was pretty interesting to me. Well, I'll say this. The question itself wasn't that interesting, but his answer was. Coach Prime is the absolute best at taking a seemingly innocuous question, a seemingly not very interesting question, and giving an answer that leaves every other person in the room, every other person that ends up watching it, every other person that ends up coming in contact with it, leaving them speechless. And whether it's because he's funny or whether it's because it's cutting or, right to their heart and really makes them think, or whether it's inspirational, Coach Prime does this over and over and over again, and it's one of the things we love about him. So Coach Prime was asked about his favorite Super Bowl memory. His answer was something that was so much bigger than football, and it really just proves everything that we've said about him over the last year or so. We're coming up on our 1 year of doing this channel. We appreciate all of you who are on board, who have supported, but it's really something that echoes everything we've told you. Coach Prime played in 2 Super Bowls. He started both of them. He had an interception in the first one. He had a long 47-yard catch in the other. Both games were wins by the 49ers and the Cowboys, respectively. But he didn't mention any of those moments. He didn't mention anything that he had done on the field, per se. He mentioned something he did off the field. And isn't it true, Coach Prime fashion, that he would mention something off the field? Take a listen to what Coach Prime said.
Beautiful. Last one I got for you. Obviously, you played in a lot of Super Bowls. You got one of your teams in the Super Bowl. What's kind of your favorite Super Bowl memories?
My favorite Super Bowl memory is a guy named Billy Musgrave, who was our scout team quarterback. Great player on his own right, but he played on the scout. We had Steve Young, NFL offensive MVP. Billy worked his butt off, prepared us, really got us right. But he never played because of Steve Young. So during the Super Bowl, we're kicking San Diego's butt. And I go to George Seifert and I say, put Billy in. And he looked at me like, I said, no, man, put Billy in. And he put Billy in. And Billy got to throw a pass and Billy got to play in the Super Bowl. And that's my fondest memory, man. That's really my fondest Super Bowl memory, that Billy got to play, man.
That's awesome. Team player all around, Billy Moose. I love it. What a memory. Thank you so much, Coach.
Always thinking of others. From the time that he was Neon Deion, right? Not Coach Prime, right? 50-plus years. No. Back when he was the center of the sports world. Playing in Super Bowls, playing in World Series, the absolute flashy star that everybody wanted to be. And everyone that didn't want to be him hated him because they were jealous. So he wasn't thinking about Prime. He was thinking about others. This was so impressive to me. And listen, if you're new here, you may not know what I'm going to say. If you've been around and you're not new, then you know exactly where I'm going to take this, but it never gets old hearing. But this is another example of who Coach Prime is. This speaks to who Coach Prime is. You see, there's a lot of hate. There's a lot of doubt. And in this very same interview, he was asked, or actually another interview with DNVR, he was asked about how he combats the positive, the negative that he gets, the social media love, the social media hate. And he says, I only see the positive. But again, this is who he is. It shows that he practices what he preaches. It's not all just lip service. It's not all just talk. It's not all just good for the camera, good for show. Coach Prime's not going to go on and lie about this because obviously Billy or the coach or a lot of other people that were on that sideline could very easily say, wait a minute, that's not how that happened. So I believe fully that this is exactly what happened. They're up a lot in the Super Bowl. They're rubbing it in. They blew out the Chargers in that Super Bowl. And Coach Prime says, hey, well, not even Coach Prime then, Deion Sanders says, Coach, do the right thing here. Put in Billy. Without Billy, we may not be in this spot. Billy's a scout team quarterback. Billy's the one who worked his tail off, just like everybody else, who he never gets the shine. He never gets the glory. He never gets the praise. Get him into the Super Bowl, coach. When Deion Sanders tells you to do something, when the best defensive back to ever play tells you to do something, when the superstar on your team tells you to do something, sometimes as a coach, you have a realization of, hey, if this other guy is putting his teammates first, maybe I should do the same thing. Maybe I should put these other guys in. Maybe I should put Billy in. It shows that ultimately Coach Prime is more concerned about people than he is results on the field. Now, let me tell you this. He's a coach. He gets paid to win football games. And in that game, the results were already determined. Steve Young and the team had done enough for the Super Bowl to no longer be in question. And so I won't pretend like Coach Prime or Deion was risking something by putting Billy in. But it shows that at the end of the day, people are what matters most. What's impressive about it, though, is the results on the field still took care of themselves. And that's Coach Prime's purpose, too. He's a football coach that gets paid to win football games. And that's ultimately what most people will judge him on. And that makes sense. We don't judge coaches because they're nice guys. We don't judge coaches because they speak well. We judge them on wins and losses. But parents don't always do that. Parents want to know, hey, I'm sending my boy to play for you. I'm sending my son to play for you. I'm sending my kid to play for you. What are you going to be like to him? What are you going to be like off the field? How do I know he's staying out of trouble? How do I know he's going to class? How do I know he's getting the things done that he needs to get done? What kind of person are you? Parents absolutely see things like this, and they see it when he's in their living rooms. They see it when they're going on visits. They see it when he is interacting with them on a day-to-day basis. Saw another interview asking Coach Prime what his favorite thing about Jordan Seaton was so far on campus. Didn't say his size, didn't say his athleticism, didn't say any of that stuff. He said his humility. People will always matter more than results on the field. And trust me, Buffs fans, I want to win this year. Last year left a bad taste in my mouth, and you could tell in this interview with CBS Colorado that he was itching to get back to his team and back to working on improving those results on the field. He absolutely wants it. But at the end of the day, Coach Prime is who he is. He's unapologetically him. He's always going to put what's most important first. And as much as I know Coach Prime loves football, and he's gone on rants about trying to find people who love football the same way that he does. He's gone on rants about trying to get the rest of his team and the rest of his staff to buy in. What did he say at some point there in the season? I think he said he had about 2/3 that truly believed, truly bought in the way they were supposed to. I don't know what that percentage is now. I don't know what that fraction is now. But as much as Coach Prime loves football, he loves what's most important more. It reminds me of his college coach. It reminds me of the great Bobby Bowden, one of the GOATs in our sport, one of the best to ever do it. It reminds me of that Seminoles coach who always put faith first and then always put family second and then gave what was left of him to football. I think about how Coach Bowden instilled that in his players, and where do you think Deion Sanders gets that mentality from? Well, certainly his grandmother that he talks about all the time had an influence and an impact on his life. Certainly other coaches had an influence and an impact on his life. But if you asked Coach Prime about Coach Bowden, if you asked him where he gets it, I guarantee you that would be his answer, because he's modeling it to a T. Faith, then family, then football. Man, at the end of the day, your brother's on the field. Man, that is family. And what he did for Billy is so impressive. Obviously, the interception, the Super Bowl wins, all of his accolades, the big reception, all of that matters. But the way you treat people matters more than all of that other stuff combined. I want to win football games. I get it. But if you're treating people right and you're holding them to high expectations and you're doing the right things off the field and you're building that culture, teams don't win with crappy cultures. Teams don't win without everyone being together. And I think that's the bigger lesson in all of this. Coach Prime talked about how you saw what it was last year. Just wait for this year. So impressive of an interview, so impressive of an answer. And again, I think that shows who Coach Prime truly is. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I always love interacting with you guys. Again, let me know down below who you're cheering for this weekend. If it's Taylor Swift, I won't judge you. My wife's doing the same thing. She's got her Taylor Swift shirt ready to go for Sunday. You get no judgment from me. You might from the other people commenting, though. So maybe hide that down low in the comments. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Be responsible. We'll talk to you soon here on the Prime Time for College Football.